What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vane Gen. Welcome back to another Pokemon Go PvP Sinister Cup video. Today, we're gonna talk about a Pokemon that, in my opinion, should definitely be considered, right? There are side grades, but yeah, definitely be considered for your team. But should absolutely be prepared for in the Sinister Cup because Steelix is really strong and he's getting a lot of clout. And I understand why. He's really good, right? People have been talking about the Sap Core, Steelix, Alolan Marowak, Poliwrath, right? While I don't personally agree with this, I can understand 100% why Steelix is on there. Now, in this video, I have one essential clip. That's it, just one video clip. You're gonna get to see what Steelix does with just this one clip. Alright, so we start the matches off with Steelix versus Drifblim. Fantastic first matchup. Steelix actually chomps through a lot of the ghosts, right? And it's nice that he threw, wait for it, Shadow Ball here, right? Because if he threw Ominous Wind, I would not need to shield, okay? But I would come out with very low HP, but the shield advantage, right? But it's nice that he forced me to block right here because that means that I get a little bit more of my Steelix. And the thing is, the rest of his team is weak to Steelix, alright? So, yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, if I just fast attack the rest out. Nice. Now, as you can see, Steelix beats the things that he beats by a lot, right? Look at that chunk of HP plus I had energy. I had enough energy to throw Earthquake. I thought that a Poliwrath was gonna come out or like a fighting type, so I threw the Earthquake. And since he thought that, because I threw the charge attack already, I would not get to the second Earthquake, but I did, right? So, fantastic. So, yeah, the second Pokemon that came out, Claydol, is a Psychic type that can actually beat Steelix, but for the most part, Steelix beats the Psychic types. Now, the third Pokemon that came out that we just destroyed, right, was Bastiodon, which is a Steel type, which is the side grade of Steelix, but Steelix beats Bastiodon. So he's got that kind of coverage. He's got the Ghosts, he's got the Psychics, plus he's got Bastiodon, plus some of the Steels. Alright, we'll talk about it. Yes. Nice, GG. Okay guys, so let's talk about Steelix, his matchup mastery. Now for the ghost types, as you can see, he chomps through a lot of the ghost types and he wins by a good margin, right? Now the thing is, there are some important matches that he ties with, but after we talk about like some more details, you're gonna see that some of this is fake news, right? And also, there's some important matches that he definitely straight up loses. So first off, let's talk about the clear loss, right? And Dusclops with Faint Attack is a straight up 100% clear loss. Even if you have Earthquake, and I'm gonna show you that later, right? Even if you have Earthquake, you're gonna lose, okay? So, yeah, it's because of Fire Punch. Fire Punch just chunks you down, okay? Let me show you Earthquake. Alright, so this one is Earthquake, and with Earthquake, you will get him down to less HP, and you can get to the second Earthquake after you throw the first one, so, you know, just making sure that you hit it, right? It's nice because you come out with, well, he comes out with less HP. Now, this one right here is if you're able to bait the Crunch and land the Earthquake, alright? So, you still lose. So it's a clear loss for Faint Attack Dusclops. Now the thing is with Hex, you win because Faint Attack does so much damage. You lose with Faint Attack, but Hex, yeah, you can actually pull off the third Crunch. Even if he gets you with a Shadow Punch Shield Bait, right, you still win. You want to throw straight Crunch because if you double Earthquake, you actually lose. Okay, so straight Crunch, and yeah. Now let's talk about Haunter. And Haunter, it's very important that you move count, right? So you lose, but if you're able to block this Shadow Ball, right, instead of the Shadow Punch, you can win. You can win, right? That's if he throws one Shadow Punch and one Shadow Ball, because the thing is, if he throws double Shadow Balls, it's a CMP tie, okay? So, yeah. So, what's your mnemonic for this? Alright. Let me lay down some knowledge on you guys, alright? Do you know Dragon Ball Z? Yes, of course you know Dragon Ball Z, right? How many Dragon Balls are there? There are 7. Excellent guy in the back with the hoodie. Anime weeb. Yeah. Since Haunter has Shadow Claw instead of Hex, and Shadow Claw charges 8 energy per shot, right? You need 7 fast attacks, right? Because 8 times 7 is 56. You actually need 55 for Shadow Ball, right? So if he throws less than 7, right? And there's a big difference between 35 energy and 55 energy, right? Yes. So if he throws less than 7, it's a Shadow Punch. Don't block. Now, it's easy to remember that because Son Goku plus Haunter kind of have the same hairstyle. They kind of have the same, you know what I'm talking about? Moving on to Alolan Marowak, and with Alolan Marowak, over here it says that you tie, right? But it's sort of fake news, but also not, right? So the thing is, with Marowak, it was running Fire Blast. And with Fire Blast, let me show you this first, alright? With Fire Blast, you do tie, right? Well, it's a very specific situation, right? You bait the Crunch, and then you land the Earthquake, and that ties with his Fire Blast that he baits the Bone Club, and it's complicated. But with the standard set, it's a clear win. Even if it lands this Shadow Ball here, which you can try to block, right? Mnemonic, again, Shadow Balls, right? That S is a 5. It takes 5 for the Shadow Ball for Hex users, alright? Now, if you sacrifice your Shadow Ball for your Fire Blast, it actually hinders a lot of your Psychic type matchups because that Shadow Ball is basically what makes you a good Psychic type killer. Now, you're gonna see that the matchups are kind of close with the Psychic types if you have Bone Club plus Fire Blast. But the thing is, charging up to Fire Blast is so obvious, right? It is so obvious. So, yes. But if you run your Marowak like this, Shadow Ball, Fire Blast, it's actually not that bad. It's actually not that bad if you have a decent IV Marowak, right? So, this might be viable. And the thing is, I saw the win rate for Alolan Marowak go down from like 80% to like 65%, right? So there's stuff that I'm not seeing. But for the important Psychic type matchups, right? Let's say Cresselia, you can double Shadow Ball, it's fine, right? It's fine. Lugia, you can double Shadow Ball, it's fine, okay? The ones that are pretty close, Gallade and Bronzong, you definitely want a good IV Alolan Marowak to do this, because if you don't, it's super close, right? Single digit HP. But we'll save that for another video because we're focusing on Steelix. So for Steelix, you definitely want to hit the Earthquake after you bait this first Crunch, right? Just in case they have Fire Blast, alright? So yeah, throw the Earthquake, make sure it's a kill. Last one that you have to know is Banette. Now Banette, it might not be in the cup, you might encounter it, right? Some people like Haunter. I think this is a good like viable alternative for Haunter, but yeah, over here it says that yeah, you tie with Bandit, alright? But actually, if you have a decent IV Steelix, right, you actually win. So it's kind of fake news as well, but also not. But okay, so we're moving on to the Psychic type matchups. Now the thing is with the Psychics, right, if he wins by a lot, right? Like a lot, okay? And if he loses, he doesn't lose by a lot, which is fantastic, right? And actually, a lot of his losses, you can kind of prevent by move counting, okay? So this is gonna be crucial. I am going to teach you some mnemonics. It's gonna be fun. Now, the first matchup that we're gonna talk about is Gallade. And with Gallade, you definitely have to move count. This is something that you cannot pad with IVs, alright? So you have to catch this close combat with a shield, alright? So yeah, the thing is, he can't double close combat. He's not gonna get to the second close combat. So if you catch this on the first shot, fantastic. Alright, so it's pretty easy, right? Close combat is a fighting move, right? And fighters fist, right? So it's 5 because 5 fingers for a fist. Alright, so 5 confusion to get to a close combat. Alright, Leaf Blade, super easy. Leaves come from trees, so yes, 3 confusion for a Leaf Blade. If you still get baited by Gallade, right, I think you should block because you come out with 70-ish HP, right? I think it's worth it. Alright, it's gonna be pretty easy for you to get back that shield because you've got Earthquake, you've got Crunch, you've got, you know, a pretty tanky Pokemon with a decent chunk of HP. I think you're gonna get it back. Now with Claydol, it needs to land the Earthquake, okay? It needs to land the Earthquake, alright? So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, the moveset's kind of weird, right? I feel like most people are gonna run Gyro Ball, but the thing is, what's Gyro Ball for, right? What are you gonna hit with that? Maybe Drift Blim? Maybe Lugia? Maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, you need the Earthquake. So, the thing is, you have to predict that it's an Earthquake, but it's so close, right? Earth Power is 5, right? 5 confusions. Earthquake is 6, right? The thing is, even if confusion is so slow, what if, I don't know, you lag a little bit, right? It's kind of difficult, right? But I think that if, for the most part, right, people are gonna be running this. So if this happens, right, you actually win, but you have to have a really good Steelix, okay? You have to have like you see that 2 HP? You see that 2 HP, alright? If you have a good Steelix, you come out with like 11 HP, I think. Yeah, something like that, right? So, more decent, so you can kind of like pad it with IVs, alright? So, yeah, but if it's running Earthquake, and you get hit with it, ooh. Okay, so this is a pretty dangerous match, but how do you remember this? Alright, so, power is 5 letters, right? Power, okay? And then you just kind of make it rhyme with Quake, Quaker, which is 6 letters. I'm a genius, yes, I know. But yeah, if you want an exit strategy, just in case, because Claydol it's difficult, right? Yeah? Just hop out right here. Hop out right here, because the thing is, Steelix will still have, look at this, so much HP, right? Plus, I'm sure that with Steelix, you're gonna find some way to get some energy, because this guy has so many matchups that he wins by a lot, plus has, you know, some extra energy. So if you're able to get out right here, just hit it with a crunch, hop out, right? I'm pretty sure that if you're able to get yourself on something else, like a ghost, you can kind of maybe get that extra, so you can land another crunch before the Earthquake, maybe, right? So, but you know, just to make it a little bit more sure. Now, this last one, Lugia, you can definitely 100% pad with IVs, okay? So, like Hydro Pump hurts, okay? But if you actually have like good IVs, right? You can survive it and win, but not by a lot, guys. But yeah, 8 HP. Right, so it's an IV thing, definitely. If you have Dragon Tail, it's like the same, all right. It's around the same. Okay, actually you have a lot more HP, so yeah, extra sensory does more damage because of the stab. Now, honestly, with Lugia, I would suggest just, you know, having a good IV Steelix, but if you wanted to maximize your HP, just so you don't get baited with the Sky Attack, right? Let's say, right? You can move count, sure. Okay, it's pump 8. All right, pump it. Pump 8. All right, 8. It's 8 for both. Okay, it's lame, but it's gonna help you. Remember, it's just 8. 8 extra sensory or 8 Dragon Tail for a Hydro Pump 8. But the thing is, Lugia can actually just double Hydro Pump, right? And yeah, still hit you with it. So yeah, just make sure you have a good IV Steelix, because with extra sensory, which I think is the much better move, yeah, you come out with like what, 5 HP, 8 HP, so yeah. And finally, we're at the Steel types. And the Steel types, he either completely loses or beats them really hard. So again, Steelix is fantastic because the things that he beats by a lot. By a lot, guys. Okay, so yeah, there's actually just 3 important matches. I don't really see the rest of these Pokemon being meta, right? But let's talk about it. Super easy. Empoleon, that's a straight up loss. Okay, even if Empoleon doesn't throw charge attacks, right, and just blocks once, okay, because it's gonna be an Earthquake if he doesn't block, right? Yeah, he can fast attack you down, so it's a clear loss. Now with the rest, Bastiodon, even if he doesn't block, even if you just go straight Earthquake, you beat Bastiodon, okay? Mawile, another one that can possibly be meta, because I think that this is a fantastic Pokemon, like a nice side grade, okay? Same with Bastiodon. You actually still lose to Steelix even if it goes straight Earthquake and doesn't block. So the things that it beats by a lot, right? And the things that it loses to, it loses by a lot, which is basically what Steelix is, alright? Now, the thing is, should you block against these Pokemon, right? Basidon plus Mawile? I would say yes, because if you block once, it's going to be like a much bigger, a much fresher Steelix entering the next battle, which is really nice. But if you think that you want to prevent yourself from getting farmed out by fighter type Pokemon, then don't block, because you can. So yeah, that's it for the matchup mastery, because with the fighters, you lose. There's nothing to talk about. There's no secret tactic, alright, type of thing. You lose it, alright? Plus, you most of the time, you get outsped, okay? So, yeah, Steelix is a really nice Pokemon that wins a lot of matches by a lot. He loses some matches you can cover with other Pokemon. Let's talk about synergy. Honestly, I don't have to show you specific clips because he synergizes with most of the Pokemon in the cup. Alright, so what problems does Steelix have? Okay, the two big ones, right? Empoleon plus fighters, right? Because the rest of the Pokemon that beat Steelix don't beat him by a lot, right? Don't really beat. Plus, you can pad it with IVs. Sometimes it's iffy. You can move count. There's a lot of things that you can do to prevent losing with Steelix, which is fantastic, right? But Empoleon plus fighters, not much that you can do, right? So what beats Empoleon plus the fighters? It's Medicham, right? Medicham can beat down Empoleon really hard, right? Plus, is the king of the fighters. What else? Drifblim. Drifblim can straight Shadow Ball Empoleon and take it out, and can handle most of the fighters, right? Poliwrath is kind of like a more difficult fight for Drifblim, but it's playable, right? So that's another one. Now, what else synergizes really well with Steelix? Honestly, everything else, right? Because he covers Steel types, Psychic types, plus Ghost types. So what else is what's weak to that, right? Let's look at it from a different angle. What's weak to the stuff that Steelix covers? Psychic types. Psychic types are weak to Steel. Psychic types are also weak to Ghost. Steel and Steelix covers all of that. Plus the Psychic types cover his weakness, which is fighting, right? Nice. What else? The Ghost types. The Ghost types are weak to Steel. The Ghost types are weak to Ghost types. And Steelix can handle that, right? Plus they protect him from the fighters. Nice synergy. What else? Fighters. Fighters have a problem with Psychics. Fighters have a problem with Ghosts, right? And Steelix can handle that. Specifically, Medicham can handle the fighters. Okay, so I mean, he's a man for all men in this cup. Plus, he wins by a lot. He doesn't lose by a lot. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to kind of like play around with some losing matches, and he's amazing for the cup. All right, he just fits so well. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Remember to leave a like, comment down below which steel types you're using for the Sinister Cup. Alright, very, very important. Think about using Steelix, or just make sure that you're prepared for Steelix, okay? Because if you're not prepared for this guy, he's gonna run through your team, okay? So have some Psychic types that can kind of beat Steelix. Lugia maybe, Claydol maybe, have one, at least one, right? And definitely have a fighter or two. Think about it. Maybe double fighter is strong. I'm not sure about that. I'll think about it, okay? But subscribe if you haven't yet. Ding that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.